Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you stopping by. Happy Sunday to you guys. Today I have so many plant chores that I need to get done. It's been a tough week. Last week was our first week of school. We do homeschool our children, and it was a really intense week. When the kids get older, everything gets more complicated, and it was good, but it was an intense week. And I had jury duty this week as well. I'll tell you about that. Not about anything that I did there, just I'll tell you about preparing for that. And I have some plants here I need to repot. This is a plant that my daughter bought me from Petco. I went in there looking for some stratum, and these were on the clearance, 50% off of the marked price. And my daughter bought this one for me. This is an Arrow Bambino Alocasia, and I do have an Arrow Bambino, but it is outside and it wasn't doing very well, and it's certainly not as mature as this one right here. So I was happy to get this one right here. And the other one that I have, it's not that it's not doing well. It started to do poorly when it was in soil, and then I put it into my semi-hydro mixture and it took off growing. So I am going to change this one right here, right over to my semi-hydro mixture, and hopefully there'll be some corms inside of this soil. The soil is extremely dry, so I'm going to have to try to acclimate it to being moist again because I have been finding that when I get alocasia and I just wet the soil after it being really dry, the roots don't do well. They just rot because they're not really ready just to all of a sudden have moisture. So I am going to try to acclimate this very slowly. So I'm going to start off with this one because I may need to soak the roots a little while in some peroxide water solution, but I'll see how that goes. And then I went over to Lowe's and they had a bunch of plants on clearance, 75% off. And so I got these little babies here, and they were all about between $1.25 and $1.50 each. I have this Pilea, what is this one? Moon Valley Friendship Plant. I have this one right here. And then I have this waffle plant. I have another couple of purple waffles that are down here. Oh, they're right over there on my table. And then I have this string of bananas. It says string of hooks on the side, but I don't think this is a string of hooks. I think this is a string of bananas. But I do have a string of bananas that I wanted to fill in the top for. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do that on camera, but if not, I'm just showing it to you. I got them all for about $1.25, $1.50. And these are plants that I have been wanting, but they do require a lot of humidity. So I wanted to try putting them into my semi-hydro mixture to see if they work out better for me. I've had both of these plants before and neither one of them survived because of me not really being able to keep up with their watering schedule. So I brought out two of my mats. Oh, I forgot about this one. This is a silver streak, and this was one of the little pieces that came off of the main plant. Well, I separated it because it was a separate plant, and it now has two new leaves, but it's definitely going through something in the mixture down here, the semi-hydro mixture. I see some of the old roots that are black, and so I just wanted to take those out of there and just repot it. And I'll put that there for now. I brought out two of my mats. And because I'm not really sure, I want to cover over all of my stuff over here. It seems like whenever I'm doing a repot, I'm doing it on something white. But just about all of the things that I have in my space where I share plants, I have white furniture. I am having caramel pumpkin coffee. And indeed, it is quite yummy. I do hope you guys are having a happy Sunday. We are. Oh, look at that. It's raining outside, like really intense, but originally we were supposed to go to a garden center today, but it's about 45 minutes away, maybe a little bit longer, and so I guess it was a little bit too much rain. So we did make it through our first week of school, and this is so dry. Look at this. It's like chalk. And of course first thing, course, I'm going to be on the hunt for some corms. I see one. I really should have gloves on for this, you know that? I don't know what's in this soil. That's a nice big worm. 2. Feel as if I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not using gloves. I feel like I'm going to find something weird in here. I think I am completely and totally addicted to alocasia. I just love them so much. I saw an alocasia, a new one to me in Home Depot. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a larger one. And I do wish I remembered the name, but I don't. I kind of prefer to get them a little bit smaller, but because it's in Home Depot, it's not so bad. When you get them from a garden center where they're growing outside or in a greenhouse, they're a lot more difficult to acclimate to your space than when they're if they're already designed to be inside of one of the garden center, one of the big box stores. If they've already been there, it's a lot easier for them to adjust to my home than when they're coming from a greenhouse and they're coming inside when they're really, really big. Because usually they got big like that because they were outside. Okay, these are all troubled roots, so I'm not sad that those came off. So I have 2 very, very strong plants here. And I'm going to take off any sheathing that is all dried up. I was watching something and the woman was saying that pests can hide in these things, and that makes so much sense. It would be the perfect little spot for them to just go and set up camp with all of their children. Okay. Just double checking to make sure there's nothing moving. Okay, so I just went and I rinsed off the roots of this plant. Let me show you. And I washed it thoroughly. And I have it sitting in a peroxide mixture right now, water and peroxide. Look at these beautiful roots. There were a lot of roots that came off that were just kind of like just there mixed in. But they look really, really good, and I'm really happy about that. So let me just clean these off. You know, I'm going to put these corms. I have 3. I'm going to put these in here as well. Let me just clear my space. Okay, so again, I'm going to let this sit and I'm going to move it to the side. And I know this is really, really cluttery in here, guys. This is my vanity where I do my makeup, but this is the only place right now that I can do this because everyone's doing a little bit of everything here. And upstairs, my dog is in super, super cling mode, and he would be right on my lap the whole time. So that wouldn't work. So now I'm going over to my waffle plant. Let's see what she looks like. Oh, she's not bad. Okay. And I did already check these for any moving parts, but look at that. Snow White waffle plant. That's what this one is called. I always call it the pink waffle, but it's the Snow White waffle. And again, I'm moving this one over to semi-hydro. When I bought this, it was flat. It was completely flat down, but I knew it would pop back up because I've had so many experiences with these plants, just like the drama. So I knew it would pop back up. So when I went to my to serve for jury duty, I wasn't called for a case or anything like that. They actually settled most of the cases out of court, which was really nice. So I was only there until about 11 or so. But the courthouse is downtown where I live, of course, and there's really not very many places to park. I mean, they have a lot of parking lots, but honestly, I just didn't want to be bothered with. From what I understood, they actually have a couple that they validate the parking for, but I was just a little nervous about being in a closed parking garage. I don't like closed parking garages, especially when I'm by myself. I don't like them when I'm with someone else, but when I'm by myself, I definitely don't like that. And so I didn't go. I didn't go with my car. I just walked because my husband had to work. And so I just walked over to the courthouse. It was a really nice walk. It only took me about 45 minutes. But it was really hot outside. And so it's like my husband was like so nervous and he kept calling me. He's like, why don't you drive? I'm just like, I'm going to walk. I can be hard-headed sometimes. But it was great. I think the only scary thing that happened was when I was walking, there were, of course, it's morning time. This is maybe about, I left my house pretty early in the morning because I had to get there at 8 o'clock. And there was a car. I don't know what happened to the woman, but I guess she got distracted. She had both of her hands on the wheel, which means she wasn't on her phone or anything, but she got distracted. And when she got distracted, she didn't see that the traffic in front of her stopped. And when she saw that it stopped, of course, she came to a screeching halt. Her car didn't make any noise. She had a little tiny car, which was actually to her benefit because the car in front of her was a pickup truck that was really high off the ground. And her car was very low to the ground, and it kind of sloped down in the front. It was one of those older cars. And so when she stopped, the front of her car was almost like a little bit underneath the truck in front of her. So it was a really, really good thing that she stopped when she did, because if she collided, the bed of the pickup truck would have been like right at her face level. And I was standing right there, so it was really scary. But when she stopped short and she didn't collide, I was so happy. I went to say great save to her, because she looked like really scared. Of course, who wouldn't be? But then the man in the truck started screaming at her. And I felt so badly for her because she was so shaken. And then the man was screaming at her, which I'm sure he was scared as well. But I couldn't believe that. And he kept going. He just kept screaming at her. And I just felt so badly for her. And to the point that as I'm walking, and she just had her face down, you know, maybe just trying to compose herself. But I just wanted to ask her if she was okay, but she just had her head down, and I didn't want to press it. But he just kept screaming and screaming, and I just said, wow, why would you scream at her that way? when clearly everyone makes mistakes. That would have been a really bad one for her though, because like I said, if she collided with the car in front of her, the vehicle in front of her, it would have put her at eye level with the bed of his truck, which would have been terrible. Now look at these roots, guys. Look at that. Oh, I'm just going to pop her in here because as you could see, she was pretty dry as well. So there are two. Okay, let's try for one more. One more. We're going to do the friendship plant because this one desperately needs to be repotted. You know, the Hylias definitely like to have a lot of moisture. Now I am thinking to remove these cords right here and use them for my plants. I'm trying to think if I want to. I think I'm going to save this one for another time. Let me put the tag back in here. I'm going to save this one for another time. Or off camera, should I say, not another time. I think I'm going to go with this waffle plant right here. This purple waffle plant. And again, this is one of the ones that were on sale for 75 off. So they were about $1.25, $1.50. And then I went into the Dollar Tree and I purchased these glasses. And I really like these because the bottom is so thick. I don't need to put anything at the bottom of my semi-hydro mixture to make it weighted, and then the top is fluted out, and so I really like these. And look at that, it's the perfect fit for this size plant, so I'm really happy about this. I bought two of them and I hope that they work out, and I think I will put the other waffle in here. Let's see what your roots are doing. I always like to remove that top layer of soil that is on the plant, even if it's a plant that I'm repotting that I've already repotted from when I purchased it. I like to remove that top layer because that top layer of soil is, and it's also down here. That's usually where, if you have any problems with any kind of just anything that you wouldn't want for your plant, whether it's fungus or pest, that's where they usually show themselves the most. Now, for whatever reason, the roots on here look really, really good. Ooh. The roots on this one look really, really good, but I am finding that it's very difficult for me to get the soil out of this area, and so I don't want to damage the roots up there. So I'm going to let this soak, and I'm going to start potting up some of the others while this one's soaking. And I think I'm going to start with the Bambino for sure. And I'll just pop that in there. Let's see. Can I even think about putting this in here? This is really where I want it to be. Yeah, I think this is good because alocasia do like to be kind of snug, and because I am just doing this for the first time, I definitely want to keep the roots kind of snug for right now, because perlite does hold a lot of moisture, and that's what I use for my semi-hydro. It's a mixture of perlite, I have leca, and I have some pumice, and I do find that it likes to hold on to moisture, and I don't want to get any root rot. And I did rinse off some more of my perlite just in case I didn't have enough pre-mixed. But it looks like I should have enough. I should have enough. And I'm going to put it in this little tiny vessel just for the beginning, because I do find that when I pot them up, if they're doing well, they usually will have a surge of growth, and you have to change it out quickly anyway. And so hopefully that will happen with this little bambino. You know, I love the idea of using the pon for my plants. My problem with pon is that it's really hard to find it. And so at one point I saw it in a shop and I said, oh, if I ever decide to go with pon, I'll have this shop locally to get it from. But it's so difficult to find it in stock. And I don't want to have a substrate that is difficult to find, because then what do you do when you need to repot? Okay. And I did mention, I believe, that I have another bambino that I switched over from soil to this mixture right here, and it is doing really, really well. Look at that. Oh, I love this so much. I need an outer pot for her. For right now, I'm going to put her right into this little grow area right here. So let me just grab a outer pot for her. Yeah, she's going to be wearing pink. Let me just pop her in here. She doesn't exactly fit snug down there, but I don't think it looks bad. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Oh, no. This is not the nutrient water. I'm just going to give her a little bit of the nutrient water. And again, I like to let them gradually acclimate to having moist roots. Not just put it in there, so I don't want to have a bunch of rotting, because this thing right here, this perlite really holds on to moisture. So I think this is perfect. She's cute, right? I love that. I love this little bambino. And they grow so quickly when they have the right conditions, so hopefully this will be good. Oh, she's too tall. You're too tall for this. Okay, so she's going to have to go upstairs in a south-facing window. So I am going to change her outfit for sure. Oh, I really wanted her to be in here. But she needs at least 4,000 lumies, and under this light right here, I get about 2,000 lumies, but in order for her to thrive, and she would stay fine, she would definitely stay fine under there, but as far as if I want her to thrive and to like really put out a lot of leaves, I need at least 4,000 lumies for that. And so I don't want to put her down here, but for right now she can stay. For right now. Because that will give it to her, and then I have this light over here. I have this grow light to the left of me, and then I have my vanity lights here. And let me see. I'm going to use my light monitor, and I'm going to check to see how many lumies she's getting right where she is. No, that's not going to be enough lumies to make her thrive. She's getting about 1,200 lumies right there because she's a little far from the lights. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going to work out for her. So I would have to put her... In order for her to get 3,000 lumies, I would have to put her right under this light up here. I would have to put her up like that, which wouldn't be the worst thing, but I'm not sure. I'll work that one out. Okay, next. This plant is already looking more plump and delicious, which is really cool. So I'm going to use another one of these. And again, she was soaking in the peroxide mixture just to get her started with her moisture. And I want her to sit right at the top. I love using perlite because perlite is so easily accessible. And the perlite versus just using straight leca, if I drop everything, I'm going to tell you that now. I drop absolutely everything. And when leca drops, it rolls. And you just have a mess everywhere. And I really don't like that. So I prefer to have a mixture of the perlite and the leca. I believe the leca holds on to nourishment in the nourishment water a little bit more than the perlite does. Okay, I had to switch things out because I was getting a little bit too much mess happening here and it was freaking me out. So here she is. She's doing well. I think she will fill out nicely, especially since she will have access to all the water that she wants, all the moisture that she wants. And she was already watered since I brought her home, so I don't think she'll have a big problem with absorbing the moisture, the nourishment I put inside of her reservoir. So hopefully that works out. And I will give her a cover pot as well. And she is definitely going to be living here. I actually think I see the cover pot that I'm going to have her wear. But I'll wait. Okay, and now here is the purple waffle. We'll do this one finally. And you can see that the roots look a lot better. A lot more of the soil came off. I'm not really, I can't say all of it came off. But it's not as packed in there at the top now. But these roots are so fine. I just don't want them to get snapped off and then put the plant into shock. So I'm going to leave it for right now. I think this is good. And I'm just going to pot her up. And I mean, this is really tight, but I don't think these mind having roots that are tight. I really don't know though. So maybe that will work. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really needed to do these plant chores. I've had these plants sitting in my living room for about 4 days now, and they were all in need, just in need. And I think I'm going to keep her little decor in here. This is Always Rooting For You. This is something that Lisa sent me, and I love it so much. I actually went looking for another one because I really like it. I love to put things into my plants. Okay, I don't really like that this is showing every drop of the stem, but no, I think this needs to be in another plant. I'll put that in another plant. where you can't see the whole thing. Okay, yeah, Bambino got it. Okay. And this is drainage free. Some of these vessels have drainage, some of them do not. Okay, so hopefully this will fill in. Again, this was a rescue. So hopefully it will fill in and take off, because I know these grow really quickly if you keep them happy. So there you have it. I didn't make too much of a mess. I thought my white table would be covered in all kinds of debris and dirt and everything else, but it didn't happen too badly. I got 3 of the plants done that I wanted to get done, and I'm really happy about that. This one right here, I am so excited about. This Bambino is so cute. And I'm just so happy that it does well with this mixture, this plant in particular, because like I said, I switched one over and it just took off. All of the leaves just started sprouting from everywhere, almost as if it was just finally happy and satisfied. So I'm excited about that. So I will definitely have to find some place to put her. I expected to be able to put her under this station right here, but that's just not going to work out. I thought it would be able to sit right next to this Michelitziana, but it's definitely not going to be able to do that. I don't want it to get burned because the loomies underneath this thing is pretty high. It's not pretty high, it's extremely high, so I don't want it to get burned, and I think if it's that close to that grow light, it will definitely get burned. So I will find a place for this and I will update you on that. And until then, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful Sunday, and I hope the rest of your evening turns out well. Video, please remember to hit the like button, and if you'd like to subscribe, I would love to have you stay here and come back for another video. But if you didn't, that's okay. I'm happy that you stopped by today, and I do appreciate you. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.